Okay, everybody, there was a little bit of confusion over some of the pictures I posted. I could tell some people were not following what I was thinking. And that's what I get for posting pictures before my coffee. So I deleted those pictures, and I'm just going to post a video of me explaining the pictures. Now you can see from the timestamp up there, that's UTC. 15 is 10 a.m. So 17:33 is 12:33, and it's now like probably getting close to 1:30. I think it's 1:17 actually. Um, so slightly behind, but this is pretty much real-time data. This is the land-based radar observations. Some of the first ones were getting good overall ones from Hermine. Now you'll see some of these radar stations have blown out, meaning they got too much rain around them, so they're not really functioning. And in the beginning of the loop, we have three overlapping radar stations, and then into the loop, the middle one disappears. So this triangle you have up into there, that's just that radar station somewhere there in the middle, right about there probably. It has too much rain, so it's not showing anything. So that black area there is not a dead zone or anything. That is actually just so intense right there on shore that that radar is not coming up. What you can see from this is very asymmetric system. It's not round at all. It's hugely lopsided. So the people that are really going to get it are down here in this area. I got my thumbnails popping up whenever I touch, but Tampa and St. Pete, our friends the Robinsons, that area is really gonna get it more than the as opposed to the folks north of the track. This pink line here, I haven't actually updated yet. This is the last night's track, which is essentially the same as the new track. But you can see the folks down here are going to get it harder and longer than the folks above. And let's see if I can swap to another graphic. This right here shows the difference in the two tracks. Now this is all based on the 10:11 a.m. track that they released. I'll redo it with the new one if the new one shows that much change, which I doubt it will. But right here, this arrow, touch it and make the thumbnails pop up. Right there, that arrow says 7 p.m. Thursday. That's where they're projecting the eye to be by 7 p.m. today. And you see the little circle with a line through it there, the 7 p.m. Thursday. That was the previous two tracks, basically. So they have backed it off from here to there. I'm going to guess that's about 60-ish miles. They have moved it back out into the Gulf there, where they're projecting it to be. Overall, not really that much of a change given the still margin of error we have here. They're projecting it to slow down a little from what it's doing now, but not a lot. And then once it gets about 10 miles offshore, it's really going to start speeding up, which is a very, very good thing as far as flooding is concerned. Now this whole video is based mainly on Allison or when I say Allison, I mean Tallahassee, and my concerns for that area, because it's really the only focus here. So right there is roughly where Allison's house is. It's marked with Allison. There's Tallahassee is the dot. Here's the line. There's a place called Shady Grove, which is right about there, and that is roughly 43 miles from Allison's house. As you can see, it's mainly southeast. That's where the eye is projected to go. Now, interesting thing here, here's the 7 p.m. Thursday where they've moved it, and I'll flip over to the other graphic. That is 7 a.m. Friday, which is the same place. So they have not moved where they thought it would be 7 a.m., but they did move where they thought it'd be 7 p.m. So a little bit longer of an impact there than what they were projecting for it just to skirt through. Now on the other graphic here, we've got the overall. There's where it is now, the little hurricane symbol. I did lower the resolution on this video, so this one's going to get a little cruddy. Originally shot it in 4K. It was way too high resolution, and I had some phone calls came in and interrupted me, so I just decided to reshoot it in lower resolution. The red line is hurricane warning, blue line is tropical storm warning. The rest of the stuff is watches. It's not really as important. Everybody on the coast needs to be paying attention. This right here is the current, and this is updated, I believe. Yeah, that's updated. This is the current Hurricane Hunter track. You can see they took off from Keesler. That's going to involve our friends, the Hurricane Hunters, and shout out to Jeff Stack, one of our Facebook friends who's involved in the Hurricane Hunters, and see him on the Weather Channel. And Miss Diana's husband. There's that plane icon is where they're at currently, and here's the color code here. Burgundy to purple is where it gets into hurricane force territory, and that's in knots actually, so I'll bump that up a notch. And you can see the purple and reds all up and down here and down here in that eastern quadrant. These two dots right there, 991, 989, that's barometric pressure, and it is dropping. So it is strengthening. Those two dots are the very accurate track. You don't have to worry about the ambiguity with the radar. That plane tells you they flew through and dropped those dots exactly where they found the center to be at that time. So there's our track, right on track. Here is last night's mission. It was flown out of Florida, obviously, and different group, same thing. There's the dots. I only put this on here because it's a little more complete. They had a little more time in the storm, or well, the entire mission in the storm here. And you can see very lopsided system. It's all basically in that lower eastern quadrant, which is why it's going to be less of a problem for our friends in Tallahassee than it could have been if it had stayed together like it originally was doing. Let's see if I can get the other graphic up here. Yeah. Here's the red line here. All of that is hurricane warning. There is, you'll see some of the other pictures I posted, the potential for storm surge. It pretty much follows that red line, and that's for 5 and 6 foot storm surge. Of course, the lower you go on how much storm surge you're mapping, the wider area it shows. Interestingly, it's not on this map, but Georgia, all these little inland waterways up here around Ron's parents' house. Ron's parents are in Alaska right now, but where his parents live, there's an extreme chance of, I think they put it like 90% for storm surge there, which is about double the odds for extreme storm surge on Florida. So Georgia is going to get a lot more of the storm surge because as it pushes out, it will be spinning and pushing water back up into all these little waterways you see there. So that's pretty much it. And if we go to the overall picture, you can see they're really projecting this thing to hustle. By the time I get on the road and get onto I-10, it will be in Charleston. And Charleston, South Carolina. I believe North Carolina? No, South Carolina. South Carolina. And so that's really a rapid speed increase. But again, just as a recap, I'm going to pull up Allison's picture here. There is the latest track, and there's Allison. That's roughly 41 or 2 miles from her, ballparking it. They have moved where the eye will be at 7 p.m. out about 60 miles. It's moving at a pretty good clip right now, so that really won't delay it that much. We're talking maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, somewhere in there. and when it actually makes landfall, won't really make that much difference. You're already starting to feel the effects of it there. And I wanted to talk about some apps because I got a lot of people asking me what apps do they use. Google Earth is a great app. There's a lot of plugins that you have to be rooted for. If you're not rooted or don't know what that means, then it's probably better for you to use it on your computer than on the phone. I'm going to pull up the Radar, My Radar. Great app. It's a paid app. Use it all the time. Great warnings. I can't say enough good about it. Now, you do have to pay. You can do a lot of free stuff with it. You have to pay for the local radar stations, which is what I mainly use it for. You got a bunch of different layers you can do. These video links on My Radar, those are the Weather Channel's Hurricane Hunters, which you can also get from the Weather Channel site. But it's kind of nice to know exactly where they're at the moment. And basically how this works is you click on a local radar station that interests you, like Tallahassee, and let's see, I want to change the layers here. I don't know why that's not coming up. There we go. I'm going to get rid of the hurricane track for a minute. We've talked enough about that. But basically the hurricane track and the local radars, that's the only two things I paid for here, and they weren't much. One-time fee, $4 or $5, something like that. You pull up local radar station, and I'm going to pull up the one closest to Allison, and there's a Hurricane Hunter. Accidentally clicked on a Hurricane Hunter video feed there. If you pull up the radar station and you hit the velocity there, that's what's really cool about this app. You can look at the actual radar, and you can look at the velocity. Now, how the velocity works is red is moving toward the radar station. This is KE Kilo Echo Victor X-ray, and Fort Walton Beach there. It's moving. This red stuff moving toward the radar, green stuff moving away. So you can see we've got a lot of stuff happening there in relation to this storm. And your main concern right now, at least what my main concern would be, tornadoes. This is a great view for tornadoes. Basically all of this stuff moving in the same direction because it's all green. If you see pockets of red in this green in the velocity, that's indicative of a tornado, not necessarily one on the ground, but a tornado. And if you see the radar showing debris in conjunction with one of those red pockets, that can give you a real good indication of a tornado on the ground. And a lot of times you'll see things that they aren't strong enough, or they're just not quite issued yet, and you'll actually see it on here before you see the actual warning get issued. And we'll set this in motion, but there's what it looks like, and you can see where this red is meeting the green. That's not really telling you anything because that's in line with the station. So see, this green is moving toward the radar station, the red's moving it away. So right there is the line where it's going from toward the radar station to away. If you actually see a pocket of red in the green or a pocket of green in the red, then that is a tornado. And I think this storm will be spinning up some tornadoes, not just because of how hurricanes tend to do that, but also the fronts up here inland that it's going to be interacting with. It's definitely gonna kick the torque time up a notch. So I recommend you get this app, pay for it, and pay attention to it. It will be worth it. If not this storm, other ones, I mean, it's a one-time fee. You can use it forever after that. Now, as far as websites, the one I told you about, Spaghetti. Let's see here. SpaghettiModels.com. You can see this is just a world of graphics here. Great site, whether you're on your phone or the desktop, it pretty much all works the same. He puts, I didn't know that. He put, yeah, now this changes hour to hour. He puts what he thinks is most relevant. So you won't see the same thing when you look back at it. There's some local radars. It's got, well, there's intensity. That's a cool one that we definitely have to take with a grain of salt given its track record lately, but you can see a lot of them, at least over the time scale here, 12, 24, 36 hours, show it getting up into category 1. And I think it definitely will get within at least a mile or two of category 1, if not just a titch over. But there's the intensity models. And when you look up a line here, if you see one that's concerning, you can pull up the model on his page and actually see where that concerning intense track correlates the time with the location. That's kind of why it's called SpaghettiModels.com, because kind of all it's like spaghetti. You can see why I'm not showing Mississippi anymore. This is a remarkable agreement between all of the models. That's where it's going to be, according to pretty much everybody. Even out pretty long term, that's still real good agreement as far as where it's going to be when. Canadian model's a little crazy. I don't know why it's just not handling this storm well for whatever reason, so I've pretty much been ignoring it. If you've seen any of my other pictures and videos, there's the another, I think this one's from Telecast, the Weather Channel. Looking for their hurricane watch and warning there, and this is the wind scale. There's 75 miles per hour is nowhere on there except for right there around that 10. So that gives you some idea. A little bit of hurricane force winds, but not a lot. And honestly, I know people are making a lot big deal about is it going to be a hurricane or not. You're talking, what, 5 miles an hour difference, 4 miles an hour difference, 1 mile an hour difference. It's not really going to make any difference. I've been through both upper level tropical storms and hurricanes a lot, and there is no difference. The Twitter feed here, from Mike's page, it's a good one to watch. Actually, this might be his Facebook page. This is his Facebook page feed, and he posts some interesting graphics. He's not afraid to link to everybody else's site either. It's got some good information. He's in, I think, the Tampa area, so that's where most of his stuff is focused on. If, as far as live feed, if you go down here to the very bottom of this page, there is just like a hand-picked list of Twitter that he follows and embeds in the page here. This lady right there, she has a really good blog, and the Hurricane app, that's a good one too. They do a lot of live feeds lately. Even if you don't pay for their app, you can still watch them on Facebook. I don't. I watch pretty much all of their updates. There's a real good radar feed. What was that, 12 seconds ago? That's a real nice overall of it. anyway, that's where we stand right now. Still think my trip is a go to Tallahassee, so I'll be seeing the Tallahassee peeps Friday, and barring the ever prevalent unexpected, it looks like it's going to stick to the track we predicted 8 days ago, so it's great. Anyway, everybody stay safe. Be prepared for the power to go off. There's already a lot of power outages, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. That's something to factor in. Charge your phones and keep some extra batteries around. I think that's going to mainly be the inconvenience for the vast majority of folks. Have your tornado plan ready, and just be ready to roll with the punches, so to speak. See y'all later on the next update maybe, and I'm going to cut it off here. Stay safe. God bless.